Let's get lectured from my husband about password management. I know, I'm very bad at this. I have to change my passwords a lot and then I get very frustrated. But he's got some tips for you on what you can do. Here's Ash, Tech Tip Tuesday with 34Blast.
Hi again, it's Ashley from 34Blast with another week of tech tips. This week I'm going to talk about best practice.
I don't know what happened there. Let's try that again. We're gonna, I don't know why this gets so antsy sometimes. So bizarre. Thank God I don't like just go take a nap or anything and I'm hanging out trying to make sure all this happens. All right, I got to go back into this. Shows December, what's today? 17th. Here we go. Let's try this.
This week I'm going to talk about best practices for password management. This is going to be a hot button issue for some people because I know what you're going to say. I've lived it too, so I know exactly how you feel. Even though I'm in the game, I still understand your pain. Okay, so passwords are extremely important to basically keep your information secure. I mean, that's basically it. It's just about keeping people that aren't supposed to be touching your stuff away from your stuff. And I hear this a lot, that it's passwords are ruining my life. I have to have passwords for everything. All your social media accounts, all your emails that you may have. You may have 2 or 3 emails. You may have all your work passwords. You may have a bunch of portals that you use for your health insurance company or just your general life. On average, you're probably going to have, I'm being generous here, 30 passwords for different things in your life. That's at the low end. So let's think of passwords as the key to your house. You wouldn't just give everyone a key to your house and say, hey, there you go. So what we want to do is we want to keep them as secure and as inaccessible to anybody else other than you. So let's get on to this part, and this is going to be a fun one. Number 1, use strong passwords. Now, I don't think I really have to tell you about this, but a password that is password is not really secure. Or a password that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 is not really secure either. So we need to make them as complex as possible so that nobody can accidentally stumble upon checking them and getting to your information. Even like a password 1 2 3, not secure. But you should have a combination of uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and numbers. So I think everyone knows that, especially when you go to sign up for anything online these days. It always comes up with a list of criteria of how long. It's got to be 16 characters long. It's got to have all these combinations. So everybody knows about that. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that one. Next part is, and this is probably one that I'm going to get some hate about, don't reuse the same password. Now I hear you saying, Ashley, there's too many passwords to remember. I get it. It's for your own safety. It really is. It's basically, if you use the same password, as I said, 30 different places you need to learn. If you use the same password for all 30 of those, person gets that once, they've got access to everything in your life. So we don't want to make it easy for the hackers out there to get your stuff. So try your best. Try your best. I know it's hard to have a unique password for every single one of your accounts. And then you wonder, well, now that I've got all these 30 different passwords for all these different places, how do I keep control of that? Well, here you go, lucky. They have things called password managers. So password managers will store all your passwords for you. Back in the day, before password managers even existed, what did people do? They had a notepad. They wrote down the web address, the username, and the password. Now, I had that back in the day before password managers existed, and it worked fine for me until I didn't update that that notepad anymore and I needed to work out what it is. So it had its place, time has moved on. So always look for a reliable password manager. Now that there are a bunch out there, like LastPass or Dashlane or Bitwarden. Now one that I like is called 1Password, and there is a fair amount of security on that. It hasn't been breached by anything at all, and it's very secure. And I have a master password, and obviously, which leads me on to the next part, 2FA recognition. So even with all these password managers, they should have 2FA. And also all your accounts should have 2FA as well. 2FA is becoming very commonplace now. You probably know that by, you go to sign into a website and it'll say, hey, I just want to double check exactly who you are. I'm going to send you a text message, or I'm going to send you an email to the email that we have on file. And it'll have a 6-digit or a 7 or 8-digit code in there that'll want you to put in there to double verify that you are who you are. 2FA is a wonderful thing. Embrace it and use that as well. Next part, and I know this is going to be tough for some people, regularly update your passwords. Now, when you say regularly update your password, Ashley, what do you mean regularly update? What, every day I've got to update my password? No, I recommend probably every 30 or 60 days you should be changing your passwords. And this is specifically into places like signing into your bank, or your health insurance portal, or your doctor's portal, or your email, because they're very important to you. Now, the moment you say, it's not that important, I'm not going to change the password, is the time it's going to happen. And I don't want it to happen. So if you change it, then basically update your password manager with the new changes, but also it keeps the hackers guessing as to where you are. Next is in relation to password recovery options. This happens a lot nowadays, where you get emails coming in saying, hey, your password's expired, when it hasn't, and it'll be a link to go somewhere else. So, or even if you go to a website that you've used a lot and you, for whatever reason, you can't remember your password, be careful of that password recovery options. Because if you use, when you're signing up for these portals, it'll ask you your mother's maiden name, or your first pet's name, or the street you grew up as a kid, or your second grade teacher. Be careful of those ones, because they reuse the same prompts all the time. Now, if you use the same questions all the time when you're using those security questions, it potentially leaves your account exposed as well. So as part of entering those security questions, they should be included in your password manager so that you can refer to those in the future if you need to. But I don't think you will, because your password manager is going to have everything in there and you're going to be changing your passwords all the time. Next, once again, I've talked about this before, keep your software updated so we don't have any security holes and we don't have to worry about that. Okay, here we go. Strong passwords, multi-factor authentication. Definitely look into a password manager. They're not that expensive, but they can save you a lot of time and a lot of headaches and a lot of drama if your accounts get compromised. I hope that's helped. Take it easy on me in the comments, but I'm here to help. I truly am. But I have been where you guys are, and I do feel your pain, because you can go into password rabbit hole, circling down with all the different passwords, and you think you can remember them all in your head. No, that's why the password manager was created, to help you do that. I hope it's helped. If you have any questions, let me know.
All right. Oh, I give him heck all the time, so feel free. I know what we got to do. It's just hard. It's hard to remember all the different passwords. And then, oh, when you have the ones that make you change it and you're like, oh, you can't use a password you've used before. And it's like, oh my goodness, help me.